grief is one of the most profound and disturbing emotions in the repertoire of the heart. Do animals experience this suffering as humans do? Even among animals that routinely kill others to survive, can there be feelings of loss? Jim Dutcher's keen eye has most often been trained on the inner workings of wolf societies.
With wolves, we think of packs as sort of a mob, a group of animals roaming in the forest, unrelated to each other. A pack is really a family. It's mother, father, sister, brother, aunts and uncles, grandfather, grandchildren. And more than anything else in their life, they care about each other and they care about their family.
Wolf packs maintain a very strict hierarchy. At the top of the ladder is the alpha male. On the bottom rung, the omega. In this pack, a wolf named Mataki. Utterly submissive, Mataki is the last to eat and the first to be used as a scapegoat to reduce tensions in the pack. From all appearances, she seems a scorned outcast. But a sudden tragedy showed Jim just how cherished even the lowest member of the pack can be.
We saw emotions in the wolves throughout the time that we lived with the wolves, but especially there was an incident where a mountain lion had climbed the fence, got in the enclosure, and killed Mataki. What surprised us is the fact that the pack mourned. They normally play every day. They pull each other's tails, they chase each other. There's always these games that the wolves are playing. And then the wolves stopped. For about 6 weeks after that, they moped around, and when I would walk with them through the area where this all took place, they'd become visibly saddened again, and their tails would be tucked, their ears would be back, and they would lose those expressions of joy that they would have on their face. I think that was grief. I've read about this before. Scientists have been following wolves with radio telemetry. A wolf has been trapped and killed in that area, and the pack will roam in figure eight patterns, searching and howling in a very sad way.
The bonds of family seem to transcend death, as filmmaker Martin Kolbeck has also witnessed.
I've seen elephant grief on a couple of occasions. One occasion was when the family that we were following came across the bones of a relative. It was Echo, the matriarch's best friend. We knew these bones to be her bones, and the reaction was quite extraordinary. The family was emerging from some palms, and then suddenly one of the individuals caught the scent. She actually visibly reacted, whereupon the rest of the family just moved around these bones and started smelling them and touching them with the tips of their trunks. Some of the younger calves actually picked up ribs and put them in their mouths, and the matriarch, Echo, concentrated on the skull. Unbelievable scene. She went up to it and she started smelling it in the eye sockets, underneath the jaw. It was a very moving scene. The whole family were just smelling and interacting with these pieces of bone. It was incredible. I believe that they actually knew it was a relative of theirs from the smells. And they won't do that to every set of bones they come across. There's no doubt in my mind about how complex and social and certainly emotional elephants are.
What concept animals have about death cannot be known, but judging from their behaviors, there is a keen awareness of loss. Among the macaques living in a national park near Nagano, Japan, winter brought tragedy to a first-time mother named Marulius. Her premature baby was born dead. She carried the lifeless body for days. Normally, a mother will abandon her baby's corpse after it stops resembling an infant, but not Marulius. Day after day, she wandered, holding her baby's body as if it were still alive. Finally, park rangers stole the body and buried it. But this did nothing to alleviate the young mother's suffering. Obsessively, she searched for her baby. Her family could do nothing to relieve her pain. The comfort of living in a social group is that animals can look out for each other, protect each other, care for each other. But how far will one animal go for the sake of another? Until recently, only humans were thought capable of sacrificing food and shelter out of noble feelings like loyalty and compassion. But a colony of primitive mammals called meerkats challenges that notion. Meerkats must cope with the harshest of habitats, Africa's Kalahari Desert. They riddle the desert with burrows so that wherever their constant hunt for food takes the slender creatures, they'll have a safe place to escape danger. On returning from foraging one day, this group discovered a jackal had appropriated one of their burrows for her pups. One bold meerkat decided to investigate. As night fell, she was still on her own, facing the jackal. The following morning, it was clear that the bold one's daring had led to a confrontation with the jackal. Her mother tried to comfort her, but the bold one was weakening by the hour. Her family had to keep moving. They needed food. Meerkats cannot survive on their own in this forbidding environment. So the group slowed down for the bold one, but she barely managed to keep up. When the bold one could go no further, she sat beside one of the other meerkats and waited. Her strength fading, she collapsed in a burrow. One by one, her family returned to her. Hunger waited, safety waited. Still, they did not abandon her. The dying meerkat finally took a few steps away from her family. Within moments, she succumbed, but she did not die alone. is it that distinguishes humans from all other beings on the earth? Is the human heart unique, or one among many? With her capacity for language, Washoe is one of the few animals who can share what's in her heart.
Washoe has expectations of her friends, and if you come in 4 days a week, then by gosh, she expects you in 4 days a week, and if you don't come in, you've got some explaining to do. I was pregnant in the summer of 1982, and I had a miscarriage, and was gone for a couple days. So I came in, and she kind of gave me the cold shoulder, and I said, "I'm sorry I've been gone, but my baby died." And I thought Washoe would understand because I knew she had lost a baby before too. She looked at me, and then she looked away, and she looked back into my eyes, and she signed "cry." And I knew in that moment that she felt empathy. I got up to leave, and she signed, "Please person, hug." And so I came back, and we visited for a while.
There are certain animals in whose lives we can see our own reflections. Animals in whom we see the genesis of our own emotions.
When I look into to the chip's eyes, like I would a person, I see a person. I see a person with feelings and emotions and caring. We often say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. I see souls in there.